Welcome back to thatchannel.com. Liquid Lunch. We are here with our guest Joanna Recine. Recine. Welcome. And you're coming to help us to understand more about the body.
More how massage can actually transform you.
Wonderful. And you have a wonderful company called IBM, Intelligent Body Massage, and you has volunteered to be a model for you today.
He's my model.
Yes,
he's my model today because he's challenging.
Am I really challenging?
Let's find out from you, Joanne. What can you tell by looking at a human being, just without even talking to them? What do you see?
I know this man has a lovely mind.
But with respect to the body, what do you see?
Well, you'll see as we carry on.
Okay.
You'll see him transform. He's going to be smoother, softer, sharper. Right?
Yeah.
We talked about emotional healing before with our psychologist, Anne Schnur. And can you tell us a little bit about the importance of the body and the emotion on impact on our life in general?
Well, the problem that I see every day is that people are really hooked on their mind and how they want to control a lot of things. So they use their mind for that. But what happens is the mind becomes very cluttered and very worried and tense. So if we don't learn how to take a break from the mind, we are not as optimal as we should be. Actually, the body has a lot of acupressure points and reflex points that will help release a lot of pain, but also tension, mental, emotional, spiritual. It affects all parts. When you have the blood and chi moving, everything changes. Even just the eyes. If the eyes are tired, your whole body is tired. It's just like one thing leads to the other. And a lot of people they're much more joyful and alive when they can release the tensions through their body. They completely shift.
So when you have tension in a specific body,
Yes.
we talked a little while ago with a guest who said women carry their purses on one side of the body most of the time.
Yes.
And when I look at women, I see exactly what's stuck there. Please elaborate a little bit on that, if that
Well,
resonates
I could talk
with
about
you.
me, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
Well, so
the person was talking about the importance of body awareness.
yes, body awareness is very important because the changes are so subtle. As you proceed with any journey in body work, the changes are very subtle. And as you can see, I'm not hurting him. I'm not being intrusive. So that's why my clients, what they do is they have a journal sometimes, and they write down the changes in their lives. The changes happen in their family, at work, with the way they cope with stress. Their pains and tensions leave their body and their mind. So sometimes if you don't write it down, you take it for granted that it just happened.
So we can't remember how it felt like before? Is that what
they take things for granted.
Right.
Very granted. Like, it's just like, if I didn't give them a drug or, or was hard on them, they will not remember because it's very gentle and powerful. It's very gentle and powerful. So people take it for granted that, it's just...
I feel better.
Yeah, I just, they don't make the association that easily. So that's why when people come to me, I make sure that they are, they know what they want, but they're Zen-like about it. They're not stuck, this has to happen, and be very stressed about it. So there's always a balancing point in all the healing journey that you go through.
So you make them to write a before picture? Like you write them down, I come to see you because I have shoulder pain or knee pain?
Sometimes I do because they don't own their bodies. Sometimes I have to because they're used to people just working on their bodies and they don't have a say. So sometimes I have to say, well, what would you like to have happen? So that makes them that makes them responsible.
So having people take responsibility for
helps.
where they are at in the moment,
and what they want,
so that they can judge the progress that has been made
and it helps
through
them
your help.
progress incrementally. It helps them move on incrementally, and they become so aware that they become aware even when they go home and they're cooking with their family, and all of a sudden they feel happier. At that moment, they feel like they're connected with their family. It's just enormous things that happen that, you don't think about it. If you don't think that massage can open up your mind and your body and open up your life, if I don't tell you, you don't really. It's very busy in Toronto. It's very busy. If you don't explain things a bit, they just carry on back in their heads.
Now, let's step back a little bit.
Yeah.
How did you get to this type of massage? I saw you putting the elbows on Hugh's shoulder. It's not like you go to a massage therapist, you put on a table, the oils go on.
I'm not doing this. I'm just trying to relax him.
Okay.
It's not what I do on my table, right? I'm just helping him.
So you do work people, you lay them on the table.
I'm a normal person. I'm here just to help him become a better interviewer.
I might even ask a question or something.
Well, let's ask you a question. How are you feeling being worked at by Joanne?
Well,
If
she
you
just
can
got
talk.
me right then and there.
See? You can't think at the same time, you see? No, okay, so basically the way you get to this place where you think body work is so important is because you've worked on a lot of bodies. Because in the beginning, when you first start massage, they don't teach you really how to be, to help a person to restore, self-heal. You just learn a bunch of techniques. So that's what you learn in school. But then when you get to do more and more, you get to find out, well, the bladder is operating well. The pain on the shoulder goes away. Then you get to find out the headache goes away. And then as you carry on, you learn more and more. And you have more and more faith. Because nobody tells you that it really works. They just teach you a bunch of techniques.
So what drew you to that initially? You went to school?
Okay, so that's a good question, actually.
Deep tissue massage. There's so many varieties of massages
so
out there.
basically what happened is that... A little bit stiff, honey. Get down. I just went to a Chinese head massage, and I saw the people, and I was amazed at how they looked 10 years younger. And I said, oh, my God. There is magic there, and I need to know where is this coming from, that they can actually, through massage, they glow, they shine, their nose is sharper, their eyes are really glowing too. So I said, I have to know more about this. And I carried on and on and on until I learned more and more and more the power of massage. So for one thing, it led to the other, okay? Then I took other courses. Like I do reflexology, acupressure. It's called Achatsu. I do Thai. But basically, by doing it, I've learned that people can self-heal and change lives because their tensions leave and they're no longer stuck where they were before. Like it's just layers just leave. That layer leaves, that mental issue leaves, that emotional issue leaves. It's just like it's inside the body. Yeah.
It's almost magical how it fits together. It's exactly what Anne was saying earlier.
That's what...
It just, you can't explain exactly.
That she is not the typical psychotherapist because she observes how people have their posture. They may be hunched over. They may have one shoulder higher than the other. And that she goes from the body into the psyche, and then it all dissolves and people become more fluid.
Yeah, so it's mind and body. It is body, but there's also mind because something releases. The mind is full of information, and the mind, and we have been hurt. So what happens is we can't handle it, so it goes in the body.
So we kind of dump it somewhere. Something's going on.
The body is very generous.
Inside the body to be done, to get on with something else that is more pleasing.
Yes.
And then it's stuck there.
And very often I see people that are numbed out. They have no more feelings. And it's not pretty, because I know there's much more to that person. But they have these emotions. They've been hurt. They've been traumatized. They had very bad experiences. And the body doesn't work no more as it should be, and even causes sexual dysfunctions in some situations. So it could go really deep. But people don't do anything until they're really stuck at times, right? So that's why I started also other programs, because I became very good at other kinds of problems. I don't only do pain relief or stress relief. I also help people. I've started helping people with mental issues and also sexual issues, all professionally done, because I've learned so much. And that really changes lives.
So as we get more in touch with our body,
yes.
we learn to take clues, and that impacts on how I see
yes.
and how, the world and how I do my life?
Yes, because you see, one person can come to me. It's really strange. One person can come to me. He has this obsession with whatever, his mother. And as we go, and this obsession starts like evaporating, unless he says, I don't want no more, then he keeps it, right? So that obsession will stop his functions from working normally, because he's so tight about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've had, like, for example, depression and all these problems. Like, I had one client, he had depression, not clinically proven, but, he said he had depression, plus sexual problems. And in a few sessions, he was feeling really normal again. That's because the mind and body was so disconnected. See, some people, they self-heal very quickly, and some people, they take a longer time because they can't let go. They can't let go of their thoughts or their emotions.
So is it that the thoughts keep the emotions stuck, or do the emotions that are stuck trigger all of these dysfunctional thought patterns?
Well, it's hard to see, it's like really jammed up there, right?
So does it start in the head or in the body?
No, it doesn't start with the body. It goes
so experiences happen.
It starts here, but it goes down because you can't hold those thoughts. They hurt too much.
Oh, I see. Okay.
They hurt too much, so they'd rather not have pain. It's all about, wanting to live free and peacefully, right?
And joyfully, rather than always tense and afraid.
And also, overthinking, over-ruminating, it causes people to be unhappy.
So how long have you been doing
11
this?
years.
11 years. Yes. So you initially started off with the technique, and then you discovered
through
more.
Many, like when I noticed, I noticed that there's like something special, like I'm in awe about something, and I know there's power to learn more, and then I continue. And this was a journey for me because I could no longer rely on the techniques or the knowledge that was out there.
So you had a certain idea of what the massage was going to be like, and suddenly realized something else? How did this come about?
No,
By working on the body?
What I'm saying is that you start with a course, right?
Yeah.
And then you say, oh, there's power to it, right?
Right.
You say, oh, my God, look at those people. They didn't go for surgery, and their face looks 10 years younger, right? And they look very calm, right? You can't get that calmness just like that, not even through meditation. Sorry to say that. But what I'm saying is that I started looking at the power of it through how people responded. And then I learned more and more. And then I learned that people could get rid of conditions, pains. Then I realized that people no longer need Viagra. That was another learning thing, okay? Then I realized that people don't have to live with schizophrenia either.
For massage?
No, that was different. I didn't do massage. I did prayers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I helped one person. So I'm just growing and growing and growing because I'm just looking at avenues that I feel for, that I feel are important.
Can I ask you about something?
Yeah. Yes.
What about somebody that, a lot of times what do you call that?
See, told you.
Like, say, whiplash, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know somebody got in a bit of an accident.
Yes.
Now they got migraines all the time. Like, for something like that, is that?
Yeah, that's a lot of neck, and I make sure that, for example, I go very calmly because the neck is very sensitive. So I do a lot of techniques to so that the neck relearns how to be calm and have more mobility. So that I stay usually a good half an hour on the neck and shoulder parts. And also another thing I've learned during the years is also do energy scans, because I learned that the body can talk. So that's why I don't really trust when people tell me, oh, I have a pain here. It doesn't mean that I have to work there. Okay, so with energy scan, what I do is I help people to find out where there's obstruction or where there's a problem.
How does the body talk to you? How do you hear that body language?
The body talks to me through tingles and heat.
So you feel that in your fingertips?
No, like I go through a technique with the person, and we ask the question, and then through the energy scan, the energy goes exactly where there's a problem. So
you hover your hand over the body, or
not
is
really,
it a
no,
mental exercise?
It's empowering for the person. It's the person, because they will feel it themselves. If I tell you something, you will maybe not listen to me.
Right.
But if the body feels it, and he feels, oh, I have heat here, I have tingles here, then they know that the body is bubbling up inside and the energy is moving and recirculating. So they learn by themselves. See, if I tell you this and that, then you may not listen because you don't have the experience. But if you have the experience, you will listen to yourself. You go, oh, my body is trying to tell me something.
And it will bring me further in tune with myself.
Of
for
course,
future
yes.
events.
Yes,
Yeah.
It's awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So how long does a massage take with you? Is it like a 40-minute, an hour,
So
hour
it
and a half?
depends.
How
If
much
people
time
come
do
for a
people have to
Lomi
bring?
massage, it would be usually an hour and a half to 2 hours. So if it's reflexology, 1 hour is okay. If it's men's health, an hour and a half per week for a few, quite a few sessions, because it's incremental. If you want your health back, then you have to do it like every week or so, because if you come once in a while, just when you feel like it, it will not have the same impact. Like, for example, the other week, I worked on a very, very stressed banker, and I asked him, how do you feel? What happened to you? And I couldn't believe what he said. He says, I feel free.
Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it because he's a banker, right? These are not banker's words.
So now after that feeling of freedom,
Yes.
what is the likelihood for the body to go back into that old space of being stressed?
Well, he's still good because he's been 2 weeks now. He's going to come back. It's a learning curve. Like, I have to coach them a bit, like just feel it. I have to leave them there with their lovely self. It's quite a lot of stillness. A lot of stillness.
Do you give people homework after they come off your bed?
Sometimes, yes, I have to tell them, you're going to give it up or you're going to keep it. Sometimes they sticklers,
So what is actually happening right now? As you're working on the body, you're focusing on specific muscle groups. Do you work on soft tissue? Is there any specifics, or you work all of them?
No, I don't do this usually. I just want them to feel what it means to have nothing in the mind.
You wanted to share something with
Yes,
us when
yes.
you came in earlier. You mentioned
Yes, because
you had
I
a
noticed he's in
quote.
his mind a lot, so I said, hey, let's see what happens when you're not in your mind, if you get a download or something. It's different. Right?
So what happens to us when we are not in our mind, when we are really chilled out, relaxed?
You're not stressed.
No tension.
You're
How
not
does it
stressed.
show
You're
up? If one
peaceful.
would put a
You're
monitor
peaceful.
on you,
You're
would it
peaceful.
show up in your heart rate, or how would it show up?
You just feel so good. You feel so good, like you don't get triggered by people. I also noticed that people that are triggered usually don't have enough energy. So if there's a stimulation and it's sort of not a nice one, negative one, they would respond in a negative manner. But if you have a lot of energy, you will just say, hey, you know, well, like, stop it. Like it wouldn't affect you.
With children, we always said a kid that missed an afternoon nap too often is going to be really hard to be around the next day.
Uh-huh.
How much is sleep a part of that in this society?
You need to sleep
enough?
You need to sleep. If a person comes to me and they don't sleep, it's going to be very hard for him to recover. Because sleep is when you recover. After 11 o'clock, you should sleep before 11 because that's when you recover the most.
So the rebuilding process happens before 12. My grandmother used to say that sleep
11,
before
I think,
12 is better than
I think 11
after.
is better.
So go to bed by 11?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and also the quality of sleep. Yeah.
And why is that if you're going to bed, let's say at 1 in the morning and you sleep till 10 the next morning?
No,
Hours
after
may be
11,
the same.
it's not you don't recover as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't recover. So, you know, what's important is if you want to change your life and you don't want to be, you know, unhappy and stressed, you have to go back to your body. It's very hard to de-stress without doing something physical. See? And it's different from then when you go to the gym, because the gym is different because you're just not even there. You can do your moves and you're not there, and there's no breath work. See, and you're still thinking. So you need time, stillest time. So that's why massage becomes very important for people that, you know, they want to have good relationships or with their, you know, their partner or their boss or their peers. I had one person just 2 weeks ago. He works in the government, and he was telling me that he was starting to feel depressed and low libido, et cetera, and the 1 or 2 weeks later, his peers started telling him, "Hey, what's going on?
You look different.
You look different. Yeah, I didn't know that about you." And he starts talking to people, and he's interested in the opposite sex now, and he's looking forward to talk and get to know them. His whole life has changed. And not only that, his boss brought some cupcakes for him. So one massage and the whole group is changing, you know.
I find it always amazing when we do these shows how all the guests somehow fit together. Every guest brings a little piece to the puzzle.
Yeah.
And earlier we talked about living life from the inside out.
Yes.
Like really be in touch with the body.
Yes.
And know what you want, express it, and take care of this vessel through which you experience
It's a temple.
the world.
It's actually a temple.
Thank you. Yeah.
I call it a temple. And if you don't take care of it, you know, it's not just the mind that doesn't work as well. You know, it's you're just not happy, and it affects it affects all functions, including the sexual functions. So, and people sometimes they don't want to stop and reflect a bit. And they only do something when they're really stuck, but actually they should do it before. If they feel unhappy, like feeling like compressed, and they can't really, you know, be themselves, it's time to let go and get a massage.
So the massage is step 1 to help you to get back into the body.
It's a mind-body connection.
Right.
Total.
Right.
People don't even know. It's like sandwich. You're just sandwiching them together.
No, there's so many different varieties of massages out there.
Yeah,
How
I know, but
does
people
one choose? How do
people that come to me is because they don't feel anything with their massage, right? They just feel like the muscles are moved, or they feel a technique, but they don't feel restoration. They don't feel it go deep. So if the practitioner is not knowledgeable about energy and how it moves deeply, and is conscious or focused, then the massage becomes just a technique, and you don't feel it. See, that's the difference. So when they try my massage, then they know that they could feel way better because the chi and energy moves and it affects their mind, body, and emotions.
How can people get a hold of you, and where do you practice? Where is your office? Because we are almost out of time here.
IntelligentBodyMassage.com.
IntelligentBodyMassage.com.
And I'm in York area, Lawrence West and Weston area. I have free parking.
That's important.
Free parking.
And it's close to the subway, I guess?
Yes, it's even close to the train.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's even close to the train.
So one last thing you want to share with our audience, piece of advice for the holiday season,
well,
so it's not stressful?
It's just, we have so many belief systems. I think we just should, we shouldn't rely on our own limited belief systems about things. A lot of people have limited belief systems about massage or anything else. But you should know that if you're not happy, that's because you're in your mind a lot, and you need to let go a bit.
Come and see Joanne to get out of your head and into the body and see what miracles are possible this Christmas.
Anything is possible. Anything.
Wonderful.
Anything is
Hugh,
possible.
any last words, or shall we just get you on the table and have Joanne work further on you?
I think I'm in love.
Well, on that note, maybe you want to close off the show. No, we have another guest, right?
I want to do your eyes.
Let's take a little break then. Thank you so much for being here, Joanne, and fixing Hugh up for the holiday season.
After.
Please go to IBMIntelligentBodyMassage.com to get in touch with Joanne.
Thank you.
And we'll take a little break, and then we'll come back with the musical rendition.